happening in Connecticut these days. A lot is happening in the country. But I understand you're not going to be running for mayor anymore.
Yep. No, I made a decision a long time ago that 14 years as mayor was enough, and that I would take a serious look at the governor's race, which I'm doing, and in an exploratory committee. Clearly, there are a lot of issues that need to be discussed in Connecticut. I think first and foremost, we have unemployment rates, particularly amongst our minority community, which are entirely too high. The reality in Connecticut is, since 1990, we are dead last for job growth. And I think the reality is that Connecticut has done a bad job on issues like transportation that impact manufacturing. I also believe that Connecticut's electric rates are entirely too high. In fact, we are the most expensive state in the nation when it comes to electric rates. It's one of the reasons that I think manufacturing bailed out of Connecticut much more rapidly and much more seriously than it did elsewhere. But one of the things that's happened in Connecticut is we have a state government that has routinely raided the accounts that you and I as ratepayers pay into to help bring about those alternative energy sources. As governor, I certainly wouldn't be raiding those funds. In fact, I would be doing everything in my power to build up those funds, to bring alternative energy to Connecticut, having a first-class transportation system, lowering the cost of energy, particularly electric energy in the state of Connecticut will be very important to our ability to retain jobs. Having a first-class educated population, making sure that we are at the forefront of making sure that young people are educated and graduating from urban school systems as well as less urban, suburban, and rural school systems is going to be very important. I mean, the reality is that this governor, this administration has failed us in very many ways. You know, when I ran for mayor in 1995, I said we needed to lower crime if Stamford was to grow in population and jobs, and you know, we lowered crime by 64%. It's going to be tough to build a Democrat, and that's why I'm the one candidate who talks about holding up a mirror to the state of Connecticut. Listen, if you want to be dead last for job growth for another 20 years, by all means you should vote for Jody Rell or whatever candidate the Republicans throw at us. If you're happy with the transportation system in the state of Connecticut, by all means you should vote for a Republican. If you think we should be more reliant on property taxes than any other state in the nation, by all means run to the Republican Party. If you keep electing people to government who tell you up front that they don't like government, they don't believe the government can get the job done, that it can do anything well, then don't be surprised about the results you get. And it may be a very attractive message to go back to you, to blame government for everything. But when people blame government for everything, they don't talk about the creation of Social Security or Pell Grants for college students or a safety net that makes sure that people don't die of poverty in our streets. They don't talk about a great transportation system, not in Connecticut, but on a national basis, or public educational institutions, or Medicaid, or Medicare. They talk about the things that they don't like, or that are popular to be criticized. The reality is government is capable of doing great things in the hands of people who know how to manage it. And I think over the last 14 years I've become a pretty good manager. Government's not easy. And anybody who tells you it is and would run for government on the basis that it's going to be easy for me to do something is not telling you the truth. And the last thing we need is more politicians who are going to tell you it's going to be easy. It's not. Recreating Connecticut is going to be very difficult. You know, we have a governor who will only go on TV shows if it's staged and pre-recorded. I mean, that's not how you communicate with people.
Are you going to do interviews with journalists one-on-one who aren't morning shock jocks?
Yeah, sure, of course.
How many?
You know, listen. Have you ever? Let me go back. Have you ever called me for a comment and I didn't return your call?
Nope. You return them right away, and you even come in person to talk.
I think we have to lower electric rates. I think we have to build a first-class transportation system. I think we have to improve education in whole, but particularly in our urban areas. And I think we have to grow jobs. If I was your governor, I would tell you that the first job of governor is to protect and grow the economy. That's certainly the strategy I've deployed as mayor of Stamford.